You're listening to Power Talk, Berkeley Electric Cooperative's official broadcast about the cooperative, our communities, and ways to use energy wisely. And now, let's join our hosts for today's episode.
Welcome, everyone, Charleston family, friends. We are so happy that you guys are here with us today in this beautiful Saturday morning. And my name is Yajaira Bess. I will be the host for today's program. But I want to welcome our co-host, Miss Libby Roerig. How are you doing?
It's a gorgeous day. Good morning.
Good morning. And listen, we have a special show for you today. Reason why I say special show is because we have one of our guests, one of our partners here with us today from the RiverDogs, Perro Santos. His name is Julio Meza. He is the number 38 catcher for the Charleston RiverDogs. So I want to do a special welcome, Julio, to our Power Talk.
Hi, everybody. Happy to be here and share with you guys. And yeah, like share everything you want to know from the team and just have a good conversation here.
Awesome. So it's a little bit different, especially for me on my end, just because I'm always used to doing the Spanish version of it. Yeah. So I guess me and Julio will be winging it today. This will be new and we'll have some fun with Libby today.
Yeah, I am the only monolingual here today, so you guys both have me beat. But yeah, we're so excited to be here today. Yajaira hosts our Spanish language show for Berkeley Electric, and it's we do a lot of outreach to our Spanish speaking community, and so we're glad to have Yajaira here today to talk with Julio.
And for our guests that are listening, please remember, if you missed a show or if you want to go back or if you want to tell your friends, your neighbors, the whole city, the community about Power Talk, you can always go to YouTube where we have all of our shows. So a big shout out to all of our listeners, our big fans, Julio, who's here with us. To everyone that's listening, please follow us as well on our social media. But let's get started. Julio, we're dying to know a little bit about you. Please tell us where you're originally from. What was your childhood like? I know everyone always has that big story to tell. You have that story. Maybe there was that person, that role model that brought you into the love of baseball. So tell us.
Yeah, I'm from Venezuela, and I started playing baseball when I was like 3 years old because my uncle used to play baseball, and my grandma always take me to the field. So I was always in touch with the baseball, and I've been playing it since I can remember.
Wow. Oh, goodness. So do you come from a big family, lots of brothers, sisters?
I have two sisters with my mom. My dad have two other kids, one boy and one girl. But I have cousins, and it's not a very big family, but we are pretty close.
Oh, that's beautiful. So I know that with the culture, loving baseball, when at that age did you decide, I think I'm going to go professionally. I want to do something with this and, take it further?
Yeah, that's fun. When I was like 8 years old, I told my grandma, hey, I want to be on TV. I want to play like him. And I didn't know you can get paid for play baseball. I didn't know. And when I was like 13 years old, I had friends who wanted to play baseball. They went to the academies and they were training like to become professionals. I didn't know you can get paid for it. And I just said, you know what, I want to do that. I want to play baseball. That's what I want to do for a living. And here I am.
Wow.
Are there any famous baseball players from Venezuela?
Yeah. Miguel Cabrera, Luis Arraez, Omar Vizquel. Yeah. Johan Santana. I love Johan Santana. His changeup, ooh.
Oh, wow. So there's quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Nice. So tell us a little bit. I know you've played for the Durham Bulls and now for, of course, the RiverDogs. How did you get that feeling of the call that you're now going into like a professional baseball?
Paid to play.
Yes.
Yeah. When I got signed when I was 17 years old back in Dominican Republic. Yeah. And I'm from Venezuela, but I had to go to Dominican Republic so I could get signed because I was too skinny and too small to sign in Venezuela.
I've never heard of the too skinny.
I've never had that problem.
But yeah, and it was fun, but it was like the same baseball in Dominican Republic as in Venezuela. You know, like it's everybody Latin and everybody's trying to get out of there. Everybody's trying to make it to the USA leagues. And once you get here and you get to a higher level, it's pretty cool because it makes you happy because you work, spend off.
Yeah, it's like your dream come true.
Yeah.
You're working so hard for it. And I'm pretty sure just like any other, person that would be in your shoes, you're just thinking about how can I help my family also succeed? How can I be that role model to the family and to the community? So, I know you're probably very little time in Charleston, or how long have you been in Charleston?
I was here last year for 3 months almost, and I've been here for almost 3 months this year.
Oh, wow. So how are you liking it, getting used to it?
I like it. I like it. I like that I have like pretty many stuff I like that I have like beach and I have like historic part of a city and more stuff to do, and it's just fun because every time you come back here from a road trip, you always have something to do on Mondays.
So it's like a little bit of the tropical, a little bit of home, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, is it hotter here or the Dominican Republic?
No, hotter here on summer.
And it's probably because of the humidity.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's the humidity that kills us. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Especially for my hair. You don't have that problem, but for me, yeah. So I'm so pleased that you're, just coming to share your story and share with us the big picture. So a little bit about, I know RiverDogs, it's owned by the Tampa Bay Rays, and they were having a great season so far this year. So tell us a little bit what it's like for that part of that successful program, because Tampa Bay invests a lot of their time and their money into their players, especially with the English program that we were going to talk about, which is questions. So tell us a little bit about that program, and because your English is very well, it's good, So tell us a little bit of how that was.
Yeah, no. Like you said, Tampa Bay invests a lot of money trying to make the best with the players, and for them, it's like very important that you learn the language. They always like, hey, you gotta learn, you gotta go to class, you gotta like do your homework and all that stuff, because they know sport is important. Because like me as a catcher, you have to go to the mound, you gotta talk to the pitcher, you gotta talk to the manager, and I mean, like you gotta have that fully communication, and they know it's important. We know it's important, so, and we are pretty happy Tampa Bay is doing that.
And how soon, or like how early are they making you learn the language, and how all it works?
As soon as you sign.
Oh, wow.
As soon as you sign, they put you in an English class. They have teachers, they have groups, so they have advanced, like medium and beginners. They put you in groups, and they make you start taking classes. You start learning things. You start learning how to say some stuff, so you can do some when you come here.
Nice.
And I'm so fascinated by this because, as someone who doesn't know a lot about the inner workings of baseball, you would expect that the parent team would invest in your baseball skills, your hitting and your fielding and that sort of thing. But the language skills is just as important, because it's my understanding that the RiverDogs, they provide a lot of support, day to day with like living and things like that. But hopefully you'll move up to the majors and you're kind of all on your own. And if you don't have the language skills to help navigate the world, then, off the field, it can be pretty stressful for you, which might affect your game, on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. When do you find time? Because I feel like if you're learning, a language that's very important here in the United States, and then you also have training, like you guys have to maintain that training, and there's so many hours that you got to put in. where do you find your me time, your self time to just reflect and find that moment where you can just disconnect for a little bit?
But you talk about like personal.
Yes, because you're going to school, you're learning the language, and then in between that, you also have to do your training, like your actual conditioning. So where do you find the balance, the time for just yourself?
Yeah, in the mornings, I try to get up early in the morning, so I can make breakfast and start thinking about what I want to do in the day. And at the end of the day, I mean, like before I go to bed, I think about what I did and what I should make to get better. And yeah, that's pretty much the time I have at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day.
Just to reflect and to think about everything that you've completed during that day, which is good. That's a way to disconnect and have some me time, personal time to focus on future goals, future ideas. So I think that's awesome that you are doing that. Do you find that English is a little bit harder than, and I know I'm probably going out the field, but for me, I sometimes feel like the English is a little bit more challenging versus Spanish, because English, you can have several, one word for several meanings versus Spanish. So how's that going for you?
Yeah, that's true, because in English, that happen a lot and gets you confused. And then you have words that they're pretty similar, and who don't know, they just listen the same. That's what happened to us when we just get here. We listen the same.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Spanish is tough because we like the easy way to say things. So we just shortcut and do many things with a language, and that's why it's harder to American people learn Spanish, because every country in Latin America have their own version.
Their own version, yeah.
Yes, they sure do.
Yeah.
They sure do. So it's interesting that, yes, because that is very true. You're from Venezuela, I'm from Puerto Rico, and even though we understand each other, there's sort of a difference in things that we might say to each other. So, yeah.
And I don't think I've ever asked you, Yajaira, what was your language story? Because your parents are Puerto Rican. Did you grow up learning Spanish first and then English?
So I learned Spanish first. English was taught at school. And my father was very strict. That's just part of our culture. My father was like, you speak Spanish at home, English when you go to school.
Yeah.
So it was funny because I used to sneak with my brothers trying to speak English, and we would whisper. So that way my dad, because we wanted to learn the language. Yeah. So it was just interesting because it was like, okay, Dad is coming. Stop talking English, Spanish mode. And it's very hard to do that little flitch of Spanish, English. Yeah. And sometimes it probably has happened to you, Julio, where you might be not even realizing it, and you might be talking to someone that does not know any Spanish, and you're just saying a phrase or talking to them in Spanish, saying, oh, wait, no, English.
And then sometimes happens in the other way.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but I think it's great because you're working with a team and everyone is supporting it. And that's what I've noticed with the RiverDogs. You guys all support each other in regards to that brotherhood where you're trying to learn the language, so you're all speaking in English and helping each other out, which I think it's awesome. And if we think about sports and if we think about our day-to-day lives, even at work, when you work as a team, you have to have communication. There has to be some type of, like you were mentioning, communication, clear communication across the board, so that way your team wins. Because that's, it's all about the team at the end of the day.
Yeah.
How many, do you know how many players on the team speak Spanish versus English?
We're like 8 or 9 who speak Spanish.
Okay.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that number. I was expecting like 2 or 3, but that's huge.
No, last year were more people, like over 10.
Wow.
But yeah, this year's like 8 or 9. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the amount of people who speak Spanish in the team.
That's awesome. That's like stuff that, community, we can share with the community. Like for those that are listening or joining in right now. You know, we have Julio Meza from the RiverDogs. He's the catcher of the RiverDogs, Pero Santos, and he's just sharing important information that we always like to share information with our community. So if you're ever interested, which we encourage you to come out to the RiverDogs games, they're very, very fun.
Oh, so fun.
Yes, please. And it's a family event as well.
Something
you want to
for
connect. Exactly. You want to connect with your children and make memories. This is where to do it at. This is where to have fun at the same time and make those memories with the children.
Yeah, definitely. And Berkeley Electric is a partner with the RiverDogs. You know, we love doing community service with the RiverDogs, because that's another thing that most people may not realize is Tampa Bay, their major league affiliate, really, in addition to investing in their players, they really want their players out and about in the community, doing community service and making that community a little bit better during their time that they're there. So Berkeley Electric is all about serving the community as well. So it's really a natural partnership for us to team up with the RiverDogs. And Yajaira, I know you've been busy this spring, early summer, planning some events.
Yes.
And we certainly want to talk about that, but in a minute. But Julio, has there been a community service project that you've done with the RiverDogs that kind of touched your heart, or?
Yeah, we went to school. Yeah, and we played with the kids, and we read some books. It was fun. They were pretty fun.
I think, did you get to read to them in English or in Spanish, or both?
No, a little bit of both. I went in Spanish, and then I started helping one of the Latin players try to read in English, so I did both.
Yeah, I could just imagine, like, when you're reading in Spanish, their eyes just like, oh my goodness, he's reading in Spanish.
Yeah, they were impressed, and they were very happy. That was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool to see.
And we have a large percentage of folks who live on Berkeley Electric's lines who speak Spanish as their dominant language. So I'm sure the kiddos that you were in the classrooms with, that meant a lot to them, that to see somebody like themselves, you know, playing professional baseball, and
And you know, Julio, you're talking about, you know, how important it is in seeing the reaction of the children. Can you just imagine what you and the other players, when you guys come out to the schools and you come out to the events, the motivation and the inspiration that you guys give to those little kids? And I just speak of experience, because when I see community leaders, and that's how I see you, you may not see yourself like that, but that's how I see you as a community leader, because there's young kids, there's even teenagers that look up to people like you, that they probably thinking at this moment, and I get all choked up and I get so emotional, because they're probably thinking, I don't have a dream. I don't think I'm going to become someone or be someone. But you and the other players inspire hope, esperanza, right? And for those that are listening, y'all gonna learn a new word, hope, in Spanish, esperanza. This is what Julio and the RiverDog players bring to the community. And if you guys want to just give your children that opportunity to meet a player or two, come out to these events. Come out to our July 27th that we're going to be having at Johns Island Library, where you get to meet the players, and these kids get to have that inspiration, that motivation that they need to be someone.
Yeah, I mean, because every player is an example of somebody who has a gift, but has worked hard to make that gift stronger and better, and developed themselves. And, you know, and that's what we teach our kids, right? That you work hard and, you know, put in your time, and hopefully you see your goals come true. And so each player represents that in some way.
Yeah. And we like to do it. We like to do that kind of events because when we were kids, most of us didn't have the opportunity to meet professional baseball players. So we only were able to see it to watch it through the TV. Mm-hmm. And every time, I mean, like, for me, as a kid, I didn't have the opportunity to meet as many professional players. And I was very happy once. I met one when I was like 10 years, and it was awesome. So that's why mm-hmm. Every time we have the opportunity to go spend time with the kids, we always go.
Exactly, because you can just imagine that feeling, you being 10 years old, meeting a professional player, and you're like, oh my goodness, like, and that just, that fuels, that ignites that fire within you. And that's what I mean by hope, esperanza, that it infuels these little kids. Even, I always bring my children. I even bring their friends. I'm like, let's go to the RiverDogs game, which we did a few weeks ago. And it's just to bring that type of hope to them that there is opportunity, but you have to work hard for it. And you're an example of that. Hard work, dedication, this is what it brings to the table. Mm-hmm. So if you can have that mentality that, hey, it's not going to be easy. Nothing in life is easy, but if you work really hard for it, you can get to that dream, you can get to that goal. So what would be your words, tus palabras de esperanza, your words of hope to those kids in that community listening?
Like my grandma said, I'm going to say it in Spanish and then I'm going to say it in English. She said, quien quiere, puede.
That's right.
It says, who wants, can. You just have to work hard for it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that, I don't know if you're going to be one of the players, but you're invited, to come out to one of these events for the kids. Because like I said, the children in our community, Berkeley Electric is all about the community. We invest in the community. We invest in the schools and in the children, because we feel that one day in the future, these are our members. These will be our future CEOs, our vice presidents, our member service people. And if we can enlighten them and inspire them to become our, future workers, our members, then it all starts within now. It starts within the community and the events that we do with our partnership with the RiverDogs.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Yajaira mentioned, on July 27th at 11 a.m., we'll be out at the Johns Island Library. And even if you don't live in the Johns Island area, right. I know I'm dragging my son from Goose Creek up there just to have a good time. They'll get to hear the players read a book in English and in Spanish. And then afterwards,
that's when the fun starts.
Reading's fun.
No. Yeah. Reading is fundamental and it is fun. Yes. But we're talking about more fun.
Yeah. The fun kicks it up a notch. Because the kids and the parents can have pictures made with the players and Charlie, and we'll have the Berkeley Electric mascot Willie Wirehand out there. So plenty of pictures, and then we'll have lunch for everybody. So grab a hot dog and a picture and hear a good story and just kind of hang out with us for a couple of hours and have a good time.
And it's only going to be the 27th, but then we're also going to have, don't forget, the Pero Santos game, which is July 29th.
Yep.
Those are amazing.
Yeah.
If you've never been to a Pero Santos game, y'all missing all the fun. Y'all missing the food. Y'all missing the music. Y'all just missing the vibe, the Spanish vibe that happens, and just the unity, like me walking around, seeing all the different cultures, the Hispanic, the Latinos, and you're just like, we're just huggers. We hug and we just show a lot of love. So, if you've never been to a Pero Santos game, I'm inviting you. Come out. I will be out there July 29th. Support, come and yell, Julio, Julio, Julio. That day, be with me. Let's cheer our players on, the Pero Santos, because it is a fun game.
Well, and it seems like the cost of everything has gone up in the last couple of years. But, the RiverDogs is still a wonderful value. Yes. I think the tickets start at about $10 each. And
exactly.
So, bring the whole family, and certainly the Pero Santos games are a ton of fun.
Yes, and you have plenty of time, to, if you want to save, if you have a family of 10, hey, I understand. I get it. July 29th, that's the day of the game. So you have plenty of time to save up and bring the whole family. But, we're looking forward to it. And if you are not following us on, social media, we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Yes, you can watch the videos of all of the Power Talks that we have going on, the shows and the programs. So please do that. If you want to purchase the tickets, please go to the RiverDogs.com.
Yes.
And you can purchase your tickets there. And if you're interested in more than one game, like I said, it will give you the seasons, the dates that they're playing, all the information that you need. Please come and join us because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
So the Perros Santos is an opportunity for the RiverDogs to honor Hispanic and Latino culture. Julio, what does that mean to you to have culture recognized and honored?
It's nice. It's nice because you go out to the field in the day. I mean, it's a Latin day in the field, so it's Latin music playing. There's, a lot of Latin chattering in the stands. And their family, looks familiar, and it's fun because I met a lot of Latin people, but I've met Venezuelan people, and cool. they've been like nice. They've been like, hey, can you sign here? And then they just wait out of the field after the game, and they just want a picture, and they just have a good conversation. They are happy to see a Venezuelan guy playing for the RiverDogs. I'm happy to see Venezuelan people coming to the games and Latin people because there is more. It's like a very multicultural team because we have people from every part of the not every country of Latin America, but we have like from few countries, and it's fun. It's fun to see like we have a day for us, like
Exactly. You just feel the love.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as you walk in and it's like, oh, goodness, it feels like home. Like you were saying, it just feels like home. It's very fun. And I knew I should have brought, he would say he was going to sign stuff. I should have brought my RiverDogs Perros Santos. I do have a Perros Santos, by the way, baseball. I bought it. I was like, I'm going to buy this.
Well, you can bring it on the 29th.
I am. I'm going to bring it on the 29th.
Get the whole team to sign.
I would love to get the whole team signed. I'm going to have to try to make some calls. Julio, come on now. You're going to have to make those connections so I can get that little baseball sign with all the players' names on it. But no, I think it's awesome. So, doing for the community, being out there, the community always needs Latin representation just because of, the children.
Yeah.
I always go back and I always focus on those kids.
Yeah. Well, and baseball's known as America's pastime, baseball's as American as apple pie. And I love that it's so reflective of the growing Spanish-speaking population in our region, and the team just reflects that, and so it's a wonderful opportunity for us to highlight just an important part of our area and our country.
Yes, and Julio, I will open the invitation whenever you want to come back. If you want to do another Power Talk, or if you want to go and do a Spanish talk show program in Spanish, I invite you to come and do the Conversaciones Electrificantes, which also that airs every Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity to get the word out there to the community.
Yeah. So listeners, if you're just joining us, we are with Julio Meza, catcher for the RiverDogs, and we've been talking about just his time in Charleston and Tampa Bay being the major league affiliate for the RiverDogs and how they really invest in their players. So we have a couple of things we want you to come check out. Join us at the Johns Island Library, 11 a.m. on July 27th.
That's right.
It's a free event. You'll get to listen to a couple stories in English and Spanish, have your picture taken, and enjoy lunch with us. And then 2 days later, July 29th.
That's right.
Be sure to come out and support number 38 and the rest of the RiverDogs.
Julio.
At the Joe. We're so fortunate to have a minor league team in Charleston, and it's a great value, a great family outing. So,
yes.
But their July 29th game is their last outing as the Perros Santos.
That's right.
So,
and if you missed the program, the show, just go ahead and watch it on YouTube and just follow us on our social media. Julio, it's been an honor, a pleasure having you here. Thank you for coming today to the show, Power Talk. We greatly appreciate your story.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here and share with you, and it's an honor. So you called me to come here, and I can talk to you guys.
That's right.
Awesome.
Thank you, listeners. And please remember, Power Talk every Saturday. Don't miss out, because we always bring informative information to the community. Until next time, take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Power Talk, the official broadcast of your local electric co-op. Catch up with past episodes on streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio. And don't forget, you can get a behind-the-scenes look at each episode on the Co-op's YouTube channel. Until next time, this is Berkeley Electric's Power Talk, signing off.